Hey everybody! This week I'm filming on the computer in the lab because it's fitting for this week's topic. Each spring, all first years must enroll in a first year seminar, an FYS. One FYS in particular, called Identity in the Internet Age, just completed a 2-week challenge where they were challenged to unplug from email, social networking sites, and for some, their cell phones. I spoke with the professor and some students to get their take on technology and the world of communications.
What the assignment was called the Unplugged assignment, where we spent a maximum of 12 days off any sort of communication. It wasn't exactly unplugged, it wasn't like no electricity or something, but we didn't have the use of cell phone or email or basically Facebook, any sort of internet communication like that.
The first day of class, I gave them the assignment sheet, and what I was asking them to do was for 2 weeks go without any kind of online communication or gadgetry. So for students who could do it, they also gave up their iPod. Any online or virtual gadgetry that would help them express themselves, that had some kind of implication for self or identity.
Our assignment was to unplug from technology. That includes Facebook, Twitter, IM, cell phones, if you could do it, and even things like iPods, listening to them in the gym because it'll inhibit your daily connection with people around campus. So,
I went to Kenya with St. Lawrence back in the early 80s when I was a student here, and I never learned so much about what it meant to be an American until I left the U.S. And I started thinking, you know what, these students have been so immersed in technology their entire lives, they can't know how immersed they are. How can I get them to understand that? And so the analogy was they need to go to another country. And so the other country I asked them to go to was technology-free. And I think it was great.
I kind of wanted the challenge because I'm a person who likes challenges, and I thought, maybe this will be cool, 12 days of, it's almost like a release, you don't have to worry about checking your notifications all day or seeing who's texting you or anything like that. And I was a bit optimistic, to be honest with you. I was sort of looking forward to this. But once I finally got into it, it was a lot tougher than I'd actually thought.
The very first day when I'm talking about this assignment, there was one young woman who was sitting a couple of seats back, and I could just see her getting sort of angry or just definitely, and she was just shaking her head, and just, I could see the wheels turning. I went out of this class, no way, I'm out of here. And the rest of them are just horrified. What? Oh my God! We can't. Our lives are built on this. I can't go without my cell phone. I can't. They were so somewhere between irate and terrified.
At first, I was kind of skeptical about it. I was pretty bummed out about not being able to use technology and kind of worrying about how I would keep in contact with all my friends. But after thinking about it for a minute or two, I kind of looked on the bright side of it and realized it would really be good for us to just kind of get away and just kind of get back to the one-on-one personal connections you have with your friends and not just so much behind the computer screen or behind the cell phone. I called my mom the first day. I was like, look, I'm not going to be able to talk to you for the next 2 weeks. I think you can do it. She was kind of freaking out, but I'm pretty sure my dad wanted to give Doc Mack a big high five because he's pretty into the whole you shouldn't be using your cell phone when you're in company with others. You should be interacting with them and really enjoying the time that you have with them because you don't always have that. So my parents were pretty excited, but my friends, on the other hand, they were kind of ticked off at first. They were like, how am I going to contact you? You're seriously going to make me walk halfway across campus just to come and talk to you for 4 seconds? I was like, yeah, pretty much.
Well, my mom was actually really happy about the idea. When she heard about this assignment, she was like, this is a really cool idea. She thought it was kind of like I did at first, but not later. She thought it was a really cool idea for me to not be able to experience normal society for so long and sort of go back to the roots of her childhood when there was no cell phone.
Biggest struggle for me was definitely Facebook, surprisingly. So just had to find new ways to procrastinate or actually get work done.
So I felt, and this is who I am, I felt as though I can't ask the students to do something I'm not willing to do. I really thought it would be much easier for me than for them because they are so immersed in it. And I thought like a lot of other adults, no big deal. I used to live like this forever. And my Achilles heel is email. And I didn't realize it till I did this project of every free space in my day. Boom, I'm over at the emails. I found myself literally, in the afternoon when classes were done, I had my coffee cup and I was cruising the halls looking for someone to talk to because I had nothing to do. I was at loose ends. That became my new routine, and I kind of liked it, where I'd grab my coffee and go walk in the halls in the psych department, and whoever's door was open, hey, and stop and chat, which you just don't do on email.
I did give up my cell phone. My cell phone was locked away in Doc Mac's little vault in her office, and I did make it the 2 weeks for the most part. I did at one point use the internet to look up guitar tabs because I'm a beginning guitar player and I wanted to learn a few more songs, and I just couldn't deal with not having anything to do because all my homework had been done, surprisingly.
So the first few days, total anxiety. I was just frantic, and then I started realizing, you know what? I actually started relaxing more. I didn't feel frantic. I didn't feel the sense of everything has to be instantly solved right this minute. It was just, no. It'll get taken care of, and it did. Nobody died, we all made it. Our friends all made it.
And I think towards the end was really the highlight for me because I realized, wow, I didn't think would be able to go this long, and I was at like the 11th to 10th day, and I was like, I can finish out 2 more days.
Just being able to have a better connection with your friends because you're not just saying something through a computer screen. If you have something that you have to tell them that maybe you wouldn't have the courage to tell them in person before, now there's no choice. Either you tell them face to face or you don't tell them at all, and that's never a good option.
Oh, would I do it again? No way. It was pretty rough having to use like a written schedule and, so no, I would not do it again, but I'm glad I did it.
Absolutely. It's definitely really good just knowing that you can make it without technology. You don't need Facebook to survive. You don't need Twitter. You don't need IM. You don't need MySpace. You don't need any of it, really.
Wherever I teach, if I teach the same class again, absolutely. And I may even make them do it for longer because it was so satisfying. And I'm reading their journals now, and there's my cell phone in the background. Isn't that annoying? It's hammering away. Pick me up now. I'm not going to. But I'm so blown away by the insights that they got.
I learned that we are much more plugged in than I actually thought. Our world is completely dependent upon instant communication, technology. Of course, people are knocking cell phone usage and Facebook all the time in society because they think, we're just reducing the value of face-to-face communication. To knock it is just like denying a part of our culture because it's just how it is in the 21st century.
There are advantages and disadvantages to our internet culture, and that's exactly what I wanted them to get out of it. Not just being unplugged is horrible, but there are things that the internet does for us that make our lives easier, but there are also ways it makes us very lazy and actually inhibits who we are face to face. So, and they got that. I'm really proud of them.
Congrats to Dr. Mac's students who made it all 2 weeks. I know that I can't stay away from my email, but maybe for you, it gives you a challenge. Try to unplug and see what face-to-face connections you can make. At St. Lawrence University, I'm Chelsea Nuffer.